All right, Browns fans, welcome to In the Dog Pound, your favorite pound cast with your former Browns Leroy Horde, Eric Metcalf, Mike Tomzak, Frank Stams, a pound cast found everywhere where you find your favorite podcast. Talking to Browns Nation. This is we're not even going to talk about that last game because I think we can talk, you guys can talk about whatever you want, but I see it as just a preseason game. I'm really excited for the playoffs. First time in 3 years on the road to Houston. But
man,
first,
Frank,
hold
Frank,
on. First,
okay, go ahead. Yeah, give him some love. Give him some love.
Hold on. Oh man, hold on. I just want to say congratulations, Leroy, to the Michigan Wolverines and their national championship. There was never a doubt who was going to win that game, in my opinion.
Did start off early. Goodness.
Hey,
I'm like,
while we're waiting, Frank, we are not former Browns. We are Browns.
Oh yeah, once a Brown, always a Brown, right?
Yeah, we're not former Browns.
Damn.
Play Leroy's song so we can congratulate him.
I got that going for me now.
we don't have to play it. I got it close by if it needs to be played. Don't worry.
Hey,
Well, I'm having a hard
you'll
time.
probably have some bass to your shit. His shit gonna be in trouble. So we
Play it, Leroy. Hey, can I tell you I took a visit to Michigan coming out of high school. Now, what year did you graduate high school, Leroy?
86.
So I was a couple of years there before you, and I think you'll appreciate this story. Now, the guy that was my host was, do you remember? I think it was either Mark or Mike Hammerstein.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike. So
Defensive player.
Mike. Yeah, Mike was. I mean, you talk about a great guy. I mean, as a high school senior, I just loved him. I mean, he hooked me up with this beautiful blonde, and at the end of the night, I had my parents came up with me because Bo Schembechler's from my neck of the woods. He's from Barberton, and my dad knew a lot of the same people. We all went out to dinner one night. But so they give me the car, and I go with Mike to the bars, and I end up with the blonde. I'm sorry, I forget her name, but I was taking her home, and when I dropped her off in front of her dorm. I said, "Hey, thanks for a great night." She looked at me like I had two heads. And so the next day at breakfast, Mike comes running up to me and says, "Dude, what's wrong with you?" I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, I had it all set up for you." I said, first of all, he asked me if I was, gay. And I said, no, I'm not. But, I'd love a second chance at the Apple. And of course, that never came. But I just I tell you that story because I had a great trip at the university.
That was your NIL, Frank. That was your NIL deal.
And this is why he ended up in Notre Dame.
Correct. Correct.
Frank, so this was a setup.
Yeah.
I mean, your boy hooked you up, Mr. Hamilton.
Hey, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Hey, there was another guy there that lived with Hammerstein, a guy named Phil Lewandowski. Do you know that name, Leroy?
No.
Well, Phil, he's a orthopedic surgeon here in Akron. And I bumped into, I was with a crowd of people, and he looks, he pulls me aside. He goes, "You don't remember me, do you?" And I said, "Sorry, doctor, I don't remember you." And he goes, "You slept on my couch when you were a freshman, or when you were a high school senior, and you visited Michigan." I said, "Son of a bitch." He and Hammerstein were roommates. Phil played. He's from Solon. He played on the team.
And he said, "But I remember your ass. You didn't take care of business."
That's right. No, that's
speaking about taking care of business,
that's just another fumble. That's why I was, I was a running back. That's why they moved me to linebacker because I fumbled a lot.
You were a running back?
Dude, I was, I at the time we played in the state championship game in high school. We played Ohio Stadium.
I don't give a rat's ass what you played.
Jenkins, before he says one more word, just picture the roster.
I'm like, hey,
Bro, you guys,
let me
what do
just
you guys
say
think?
this.
You guys
Let me
think
just
you
say-
guys are
hold
the
on.
only brothers with
I'm
skill? Unreal.
I'm gonna preface this whole
Unbelievable.
conversation by asking you one question.
Yeah,
How many
go ahead.
black people on your team?
Dude, listen, I went to school at the inner city of Akron. Half the team was black, if
So
not
how many
more.
was that?
And
Give us a number.
you
So
were
I
one
knew.
of, you
So
were
this
one
is
of the
what it's
most you
bubbling
were
up
one
to
of the
is
best
race.
skilled players.
No, bro. What do you mean? Yeah, I had skill.
Leroy,
Are you kidding
Leroy,
me?
Eric. I mean, Frank was the 1% of the 1%. I mean, he made it to the
Hey,
NFL. He's a hell of an athlete. Hell of an athlete.
You wasn't playing running back.
The high
Yes,
school
he wasn't.
listen. It used to be the high school I went to until LeBron James came along. So that should give you an idea of whether or not we were diverse. We were
Y'all
had
got
a
some
diverse.
low ass standards at that high school.
Yeah.
Hey, I would love to see
yeah.
I would love to see some footage of you running the ball.
Oh, brother, I'll share it with you next time. Yeah, next time
That shit is classic.
Hey,
Frank,
speaking of running the football,
Frank, do you
good job,
understand?
Eric.
We've seen you run.
34.
Bro, you have
34.
no idea.
I don't.
Listen, honest to God, man.
I'm gonna be honest.
Honest to God, Leroy. Honest to God, in my day, I honest to God, I really think. No, I don't want to hurt your feelings or anything.
Go ahead.
I really,
You really
all I'm going to say is if you and I were to race, it actually would be, the outcome would not be certain. I'll just put it that way. That's the nicest way I'll put it.
Which one? Who you talking to?
Am I running
Who you
back?
talking to?
Listen, if I'm talking to you too, man, I'd run your ass down.
We're not going to talk about racing or anything. All I'm going to say is this: I've never been asked to switch positions.
Me neither.
That's because you're not a football. You're one dimensional.
I've never covered a punt. I kind of covered a
because
kickoff.
you can't. That's why you've never been asked to do it, because you can't.
No, because they don't ask special people to do shit like that.
Oh, that's why they don't. That's why they don't do that. Huh? Oh, okay, yeah.
Hey, I can't say that I was a person that went for 71 yards and didn't have to run down on kickoff.
Oh, you sure did.
Yeah, and Bill tried to come over and give me that old, hey, we need you.
You sure did.
Like,
you sure did.
What?
You
Only
sure
people
did.
fucking on the sidelines, and you need me to run down on kickoff.
Wow.
Yes,
anyways,
that was 30 years ago, boys. That was 30 years ago in Frank's journey.
You don't forget shit like that.
More than that. 30, that was 40 years ago. What was that? That was 1984. Hell, that was 40 years ago. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Hey, 34-13. Give it up for the Big Ten champions and national champion, Michigan Wolverines. You talk about running the football. Hopefully Stefanski was watching that game. Right, Leroy?
It was something special because, when the game started and you saw Michigan's line go up to the line of scrimmage, you were like, goodness, Washington's tiny. Right? And so, they picked it up in the second half to the point where I had some questions, but they were banged up. Their quarterback was banged up.
You say they picked it up as far as their defense defending the run, but I think it was more one of those things that Harbaugh and them were looking like, we're running the damn ball. Whether they stop us or not, they're not scoring. Right?
The most important, the most interesting thing about that game, I've never seen a college team play intricate defenses and roll in and out of coverages the way that defense did. Right? Now they got caught a couple of times, but they were disguising everything.
Hey, you know the most important thing about this game? It's going to be small to you guys, but it's very big to me. Now I don't have to listen to that shit in Seattle.
Oh,
yeah.
You know what? Hey, for as much as they praise those wide receivers, they weren't fearful at all. Right? Yeah. I went to the game thinking, they got a trio of receivers that can make some stuff happen. And the only guy that was really consistent throughout the whole game was Big Frank Stamps, that big tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, 37. Yeah.
Westover.
Yeah.
Westover.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things. Like when they played us, they had Michael Penix had the game of his life. He was dropping them balls in.
That's right.
Only the receiver could catch them, and they made plays in that game. It looks like, and you look at our game against them, it looked like they blew us out. They had 40 more yards than us, and we had a chance to win after fumbling twice.
He threw a fade stop with a lob. He should have threw it on the dime. He should have threw it on the line.
They had a great year. They had a good year though. Michigan's year was just better.
Listen. As a guy who's been Michigan all year, those last two games were impressive even to me.
Yeah.
How they handled Alabama, because everybody said that I wanted Florida State in because I didn't want to deal with Alabama, which wasn't the case at all. Because you got to beat two of the teams anyway, right?
Yep.
And how they handled Washington, who everybody said was prolific offensively. I was even shocked at how they were handling how they played those last two games. I was impressed.
They did a good job.
By the way, that's bullshit. They didn't let Florida State in. That's just straight out bullshit.
I need you to stop that.
But look, here's the thing. You're gonna have a hard here, and here's why I know my argument is flawed. Right? Because,
so wait, which side are you arguing for first? That they should have been in or they shouldn't have been in?
Yeah, they should have been in. But here's why my argument's flawed. Because those were two of the best semifinal games that they ever had in the college playoff.
Last play.
Right.
Games.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So
how do you know?
It's hard to have that argument when the results were what those two games were. That being said, how about just for a backstory? Last year, they all sat in that room to expand the playoffs, right? Guess who voted no?
Florida State.
The ACC, not Florida State, the ACC. So it might have been their own doing, because when they sat in that room, right, having that on the back of their mind, going, you know what? Let's put them fifth, because they would have been in if they would have expanded the playoffs. I don't put that past nobody.
And when they end up in the final rankings?
8.
Yeah, see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really telling, guys. Really telling. It'll be a different story next year, right? You go to 12 teams in 2024. So, the arguments are going to be both sides.
Let me say this. Here's the problem I have with the rankings, and I'll quote Nick Saban on the rankings. You can take them into the bathroom with you and wipe your ass with them, because those rankings mean absolutely fucking nothing.
But Nick only says that when it plays is a disadvantage for him.
Right, but here's the other problem.
His advantage, he's good with
How are you going to rank Florida State when their whole team jumps into the portal, jumps into the NFL?
That's their fault. They had the opportunity. They had the opportunity to show everybody we really deserved here.
I'm not looking to blame anybody for where they are. I'm just saying, how do you rank a team? How do you rank a team's body of work, which we're talking about? How do you rank a team's body of work based on a skeleton crew that they played in the bowl game?
Georgia chose to play.
Frank, I'm gonna tell you why.
Chose to play.
I'm gonna tell you why.
That's because they're a bunch of dumb hicks from Georgia. That's why.
Frank, I'm gonna tell you why. For the same reason why their quarterback got hurt and they weren't included in the Final Four is the same reason why they could be ranked 8 if nobody plays and they have a bad showing. Like, it works hand in hand. But here's the bigger problem. Here's why I hate the rankings. I hate the rankings for this reason. Because in the beginning of the year, when nobody's played a damn game, you have 8 SEC schools in the top 15.
Right.
And they all play each other and get credit for ranked wins. And then those teams suck. But they get credit for those ranked wins. Like right now, there's 4 or 5 SEC schools in the top 10 or 15.
Hey, and technically, you can, if you want to count us now, or because we're SEC now.
Yeah.
And so now it increases.
Right. So you're just gonna play up, you're gonna play against each other and get credit. You see what I'm saying? I believe that the rankings should prioritize playing ranked out of conference teams, not for playing teams in your own conference that's ranked. Texas A&M for the last 3 years been ranked top 10 and they've been terrible. But all these teams get credit for beating Texas A&M.
And now they trying to run to the Big Ten.
Who, Texas A&M?
Yeah.
Come on, we'll take it. We got something for you.
They trying to run away from us.
Yeah.
But we got other business to talk about.
Let's get
Houston, Texas, this weekend. Browns.
Because we're the Houston Texans.
Browns,
remember that
Texans.
song? The Oilers.
And let me say this, Houston Oilers, yes. And going into this, I'm going to be honest with you. This was the last of the 3 teams that I wanted to play when we're talking about the AFC South division winner.
Mm-hmm.
In order, I wanted it to be Jacksonville, the Colts, and then Houston. Because I don't think these dudes are scared of anything.
No, they've been playing.
They got a rookie quarterback who doesn't care.
Yeah.
Got confidence. They got D'Amico and the coaches he brought over from Frisco who have been to Super Bowls, who know how to coach in these type of games. They're not worried about a thing.
Right.
And that's why I wanted Jacksonville. But we get Houston. And we beat them a few weeks ago, but it ain't the same team we're going to see Saturday.
You know what? So I'm going to say to that, I'm going to say I'm glad we're playing Houston. The Browns are going to kick the shit out of the Houston Oilers because all I've been hearing about is
what does Houston kick the shit mean?
They're going to beat them by 2 touchdowns.
Oh.
All right, in their place. So Stroud, I've been hearing about Stroud's an average quarterback. His numbers prove it. He's an average. Yeah, everybody's
wait,
sucking Stroud off. He's an average quarterback. He's thrown 20
MVP.
20
MVP.
Rookie of the year. 3 touchdowns. So what? Listen, the Browns secondary will make Stroud. He'll throw. I promise you, he'll throw 2 interceptions. Stroud will throw 2 interceptions in the game against the Browns.
Right. Why every time a player has any success in the NFL, you say he sucks? You a Hall of Famer? That dude is a rookie quarterback.
I didn't say he sucks. I didn't say he sucks. I said he's an average. You said he sucks. I said he's an average quarterback.
Based on what?
Based on my experience in the NFL. Based on his numbers, he's ranked 15th. We're talking about rankings. Now you can talk about rankings, and I can't talk about rankings.
No.
Frank, you should probably pull up his numbers before you start saying based on his
numbers. I just pulled up his numbers before the show.
He's quarterback. Frank, hold on.
He's thrown. He hasn't thrown.
He's one of 3 quarterbacks ever. He's the 3rd best quarterback as a rookie as far as yards are concerned. His turnover
as a rookie. I'm talking about
his interception to touchdown ratio is the best in the NFL.
We'll see. You guys laughed at me when I said the Browns.
Those are facts.
When you laughed at me when I said the Browns wouldn't run the ball more than what was it? 120 yards against Denver. You laughed at me then. I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. I'm stupid. All right. I'm a dummy. I don't know anything. I'm telling you right now, Stroud is an average quarterback. And they're lucky that the guy doesn't catch the ball for a first down against Indianapolis because they go into overtime or lose that game.
Right. You could think or you have any opinion you want, but what are you basing it off of? Like the numbers speak for themselves. We're using the actual numbers of his performance for 17 games to come to this conclusion.
And he missed games. And he missed the game.
He missed 2 games.
He missed a couple games.
Yeah, so I'll take the other side of that. He missed the games. His durability's in question.
Oh, goodness, Frank, stop.
Concussion.
Right, concussion. How many
Which means
games?
he just fell wrong.
Matt, how many? Leroy, maybe Mike's a different story. Wait, not Mike. How many, Mike? How many games did you miss because of a concussion?
It's a different football.
In the 80s and 90s,
that?
they didn't know what a concussion
Nobody
was
ever
back in
missed
the
games
80s.
because of concussions back then.
What did concussions exist?
No one missed games because of concussions back then. They were
Why?
got dinged because you got
Why?
dinged.
Why didn't guys miss because of concussions back then?
Because the studies
They didn't
weren't
call
the
them
same.
concussions.
They didn't. The studies weren't the same as they are today.
Yeah. And the protocol's not the
You
same.
can't do that. The protocol's not the same. You
And
cannot.
they didn't have a baseline. They didn't have an initial baseline on the individual before the season started. We can go on to this for hours, but Frank, to your point, I think he's a hell of a quarterback. For a guy to come in there, okay, his rookie year, most of these rookies, 50% of them don't make it, right? This guy elevated that whole team. He put the team on his shoulders throughout the year to get him to these victories in the last-minute drive. And is it an anomaly? It might be an anomaly. And we'll find out Saturday when the defense shows up from the Browns and tattoos him a few times and see how tough he really is and the durability, because that's the game plan, right? You get him off his spot. You knock the crap out of him a couple times. You might get a 15-yard penalty and see if this rookie's really shaken or stirred. We'll find out.
And I agree with that. But here's the thing. When you're talking about C.J. Stroud and stepping on that field with the Houston Texans, which we didn't see the first time, we saw Davis Mills. That team plays differently when he is on the field. They think differently. It's a whole different mindset when he's on that field because the confidence. He exudes confidence in all of them, whether it be offense or defense. They feel like at any point they can, all right.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Yeah, the chemistry's different. It's probably better when Stroud's on board. They're a better team when Stroud's in huddle. Certainly. All right. But here, let me give you based on the stats, not my feelings. All right, 7, 8, when it comes to passing in the NFL, 7, 8, 9, 7 is Jordan Love, 8 is Stroud, and Baker Mayfield is 9.
So what? So you're talking about 3 quarterbacks in the playoffs?
Yeah, right. So what I'm saying is that's his company. That's his company. Jordan Love doesn't scare me. Wait. Jordan Love doesn't scare me. Baker Mayfield doesn't scare me. Why? Because in C.J. Stroud that's sandwiched in between them. Why would he scare me?
It's not the fact that he scares you because of his number. It's the fact that he can go out there and play full. These are 3 playoff quarterbacks.
Based on your opinion.
Frank, these are 3 playoff quarterbacks who led their team. And mind you, each one of these teams, let me finish before you say whatever. Mind you, each one of these teams that you mentioned, with these average quarterbacks that you're talking about, not one of them's team is really good.
Brother, we've got a quarterback that won a Super Bowl.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You're trying to lump these guys together, but their teams aren't even that good.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying, but I'm trying to be objective. I'm trying to take my emotion out of it.
You're not being objective.
Doesn't sound like it.
Let me ask you this, guys. You remember when Houston was in the playoffs previously with Deshaun Watson?
Mm-hmm.
Remember they snuck in and they didn't win a playoff game? I think they were in the playoffs twice, I believe. And, it was almost like that AFC South is such a, 8-9 and 9-8 record, right? And it could have been 3 different teams, correct? Would you say that Houston is backing into the playoffs, or did they really truly earn it? Because they won some close games on the stretch, right?
For me, I would say they earned it because they were playing in the playoffs last week.
Okay.
They had to win that game. They had to win. If they don't win, they don't go to the playoff. And not only did they win, they went to Indianapolis and did it. Yeah. And you can say whatever you want about Indianapolis should have caught the ball or whatever they didn't do. That's fucking football.
True that. I agree. Does anyone scare? Who scares you?
Indianapolis is a good team.
Who scares you guys? Who scares you guys on the offensive side first for the Houston Texans? Stroud, you say he's average, Frank? Okay.
And
I think he's dangerous. I think
and
he's
he's
dangerous.
throwing and he's throwing the ball to Nico Collins.
Who is
Number 20, right?
that dude?
Yeah.
And he's throwing the ball to Nico Collins. He's big as hell, and he's making plays.
Yeah. And Frank thinks the secondary is going to shut him down. Frank,
we got the number one set. We got the number one secondary in the league. We've our secondary is and I'm talking about the corners covering the wideouts. Our secondary is the best.
Frank, can I say why? You know why you play defense? It's because of the pass rush. No pass rush.
Certainly that's part of it.
They're hand in glove. They kind of hand in glove, yeah.
Right, exactly. But I'm just saying, as a whole,
well,
that's what makes that secondary so good. Is that
I
they've done such a great job of getting after the quarterback.
No, I appreciate your analysis, and I respect that. But also, that works the flip side. Those guys are getting sacks because a lot of them are coverage sacks.
Can we say this though? Every time we played a team that had one receiver, that one receiver got busy.
Yep.
That one receiver got busy. Whether it be DJ Moore, whether it be Nico against us, whether it be who else who got busy against us from Jacksonville? Was it Zay or the other or
Ridley?
Somebody? Ridley. Somebody gets busy, and so I'm curious to see how we defend Nico Collins. He's their number one. Of course, Denzel's our Pro Bowler, but do you want Denzel lined up against him every play at 6'4"?
And he can run.
I don't know.
That's too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Great point.
Right. And
because the fade stops, the over the top stuff, the high ball, high point.
Right. So you're not going to trouble Denzel. So I think the best is if, say, Martin Emerson's over, because he's just as big.
23, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we don't know what Schwartz to do because it's all going to boil down to that pass rush and keep, like you said, he's keeping Stroud off his spot, not making him comfortable. But we saw the other day when he wasn't on his spot, he would run around and he'd throw that shit down the field 30 yards to Nico Collins.
And that's a Hail Mary.
Well,
some of those balls were
I
throws, right?
I think what we're doing is we're not dismissing Houston as a garbage team.
Right.
Right. And Frank is kind of just dismissing them because of either their record or what. Frank, this is the first time a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback have made the playoffs in like 70 years.
I love that. I freaking love that. I love that.
But why are you dismissing everything that they've done?
I'm not dismissing it. I'm saying that they're just because that doesn't bother me. That doesn't scare me as a rookie because they're in a category of rookies.
And then you also brought up Jordan Love. Do you know he is the first quarterback in Green Bay history to go to the playoffs in his first full year starting?
I love that stat.
Green Bay doesn't
player, Eric.
Green Bay doesn't scare me either. Jordan Love, Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield.
Whether they scare you or not, whether they scare you or not, doesn't take away from the accomplishments. And we say,
but it's an accomplishment of rookies.
We've seen them.
It's like
they've accomplished this year. We're not just dismissing them as average. CJ Stroud is not average. To do what he's done as a rookie is not average.
He's not an average. He's not an average rookie. He's an average NFL quarterback.
Well, who else has done what he's done as a rookie?
Exactly.
Hold on. Who else has done what he's done as a rookie?
I tried.
I played the position and has watched many quarterbacks.
Mike, jump in here, man. We're talking quarterback.
I would love to.
Go ahead, Eric. I'm saying T-Deck has played the position and watched many quarterbacks. You tell us, is he average?
Yeah. No, he's well above that. He's a first round. He's a franchise quarterback without a doubt. I'm not trying to be Mel Kiper here and bring everyone down because I've been studying the tape. And the thing about this CJ Stroud, ever since that bowl game against Georgia last year in the semifinals, his stock has risen him, and he has taken off, and he's feeling this bold confidence because he knows he can scramble now. He knows he has to. But the thing is, he's got some playmakers around him too, guys. I mean, he's not a magician all by himself. He's playing with a great deal of confidence. He's got a defense to complement him. And if he didn't have a running game, he would be throwing the ball 50 times a game. So it's a well-balanced team. It's a great situation for this young player. We know he went to Ohio State and everything. But the bottom line is this offense is dummied down. I mean, he's making fundamental plays. He's just dropping back, throwing that skinny post. He's dropping back and throwing that quick 10-yard out. He's hitting his checkdowns. He's in the boot game. He's in the play action game. So there's nothing in this offense that he can't accomplish from what I witnessed in all the 15 games that he's played this year. And his upside is still tremendous, but he's already the rookie offensive player of the year.
Mind you,
without any question.
And mind you, he's doing this without his best receiver.
Thank you, Eric. I'm sorry. I failed to mention that as well.
Because Tank Dell is not there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But, on the flip side, Frank, if you want to go to the flip side, I am just bubbling with joy that Joe Flacco is the second oldest quarterback to start a playoff game in NFL history. He's the guy that's on a roll right now. He's the guy that gives all of us a great deal of hope, right?
Yeah. Right.
He does. I feel good about it. I didn't realize until recently that he has the most wild card wins in NFL history.
Love it.
Yeah,
I love it. You guys are just that savvy. I love it.
Because we have to talk about this. We don't just
right.
throw things out there.
Well, you are in the dog pound, raw and uncensored, filled with statistical data that's paramount to this broadcast. The thousands of people that are listening right now are just enamored with Eric Metcalf and Leroy Horde and Frank Stam's statistical ability to bring this program forward, which is the #1 podcast on alumnimedia.com.
And Frank, let me say this. Let me say this, Frank. When we're talking about C.J. Stroud, I hope you don't think we think he's that good where he's just going to walk in and beat us, because I don't think that Houston's going to win. We're just saying that
you got to acknowledge
that he's the type of player.
The fucking punk freshman rookie motherfucker. That's what he is.
And you can call him what you want, but
he got him there. Yeah.
Ain't no quitting him.
Listen, now you guys get me all wrong, man. I get a little heated. I talk a little shit.
You're an actor. You're a professional actor. Take the hat off.
Listen,
Must be the hat.
No, we're going to Houston.
He's doing his best Matthew McConaughey right now with his head on and shit.
All right.
Yeah. That's who I want to be, Matthew McConaughey. So, I just see it. I just see it. I just don't think I think he's, of all the things, I think he's a good quarterback. I think there's two classes. There's the rookie class, and then there's the freaking the all pro class.
There's not rookie, right? and there's not rookie and then all pro. There's the quarterback class, all pro, and you either, if he's playing at this point, he's no longer a rookie. You call it what you want.
Yeah,
you call it what you want.
Well, listen, I know one thing. I know, and you guys know this, and tell me if I'm wrong, but playoff experience is big.
He played the
Joe Flacco has the most wild card wins. I just found out here about 1.5 minutes ago.
He played in the playoffs last week.
Frank.
Okay.
You misunderstand acknowledging what a player has done,
right,
with what we think is going to happen in the game. And the whole basis behind this is we're not just going to let you dismiss what this man has done and dismiss it as being nothing. What he has done as a rookie is remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, tell me again, what has he done as a rookie?
He's won the
third most yards. He has the third most yards as a rookie quarterback ever.
Okay.
And that includes Peyton Manning. That includes Brett Favre. That includes
Troy Aikman.
Tom Brady. That includes Troy Aikman. If you're saying he's average, what the hell would you have said about Peyton Manning? Because he had a terrible rookie year. What would you have said about Troy Aikman? Because they were like 1-15.
Yeah.
So, man, this guy made it to the playoffs.
how does so
Not only made the playoffs, won his division.
The Browns don't the Browns have a better record than Houston?
I don't care. He won his division.
Frank, we wouldn't even be having this conversation if you wouldn't have just dismissed him as being average.
Listen, Leroy,
you do realize this, right? You do realize this.
I'm trying to qualify his play, and by doing, I'm trying to compare. I'm trying, huh?
You gonna qualify or quantify?
Well, quantify. If you quantify it, his numbers speak for themselves. If you're going to qualify him, he's probably rookie of the year, Frank. But does he scare you?
But
Eric, does he scare you?
So why am I having a listen? Here's what I say. Okay, you guys remember when the Belichick was, what was he, 17-0, going for 18-0, playing the Giants in the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Against Eli, correct.
Why did Tom Brady have a disaster Super Bowl that time? Why?
The Giants defense.
What about their defense?
They got after him. They got him off his spot.
They
got third and long.
He had to change his pants at halftime because he pooped his pants.
Can we say this though? With all that you are saying, it took miraculous scramble for them to win that game.
And that miraculous catch, right?
I love the way, Frank, you just dismiss history.
No.
Like
what I'm saying.
Wait. There's been a lot of Super Bowls that Tom Brady has played in where he wasn't the best player on the field.
And where did he go to college?
Michigan.
I don't know. I'm just
like,
using.
why,
I'm not bringing. I don't want to bring Tom Brady into this. I'm just saying I think our pass rush is going to make C.J. Stroud.
We agree with you.
Frank, we agree with you. Agree with that.
But that don't mean he's garbage.
But
no, I didn't say Frank, he was garbage. Frank, now quit putting words in my mouth.
Frank,
I didn't say
you said he was average.
I said he's an average NFL quarterback.
Frank, if he stands back there and our pass rush does not get to him, he 100% will not be average.
Let me ask you this question. Where does he rank? Of all the quarterbacks in the playoffs, where does he rank?
I mean,
Well, he got 14. You got 14, right? You got 9. You got 18. 14.
Right. 14. Dak Prescott.
He'd be in the middle.
Buffalo. Lamar Jackson.
He'd be in the middle.
Okay.
I think it's right there. I think it's right there with Love, right? Would you say he's right there with Love?
He'd be in the middle.
There.
Right.
Yeah.
He's right there. I would say he's in the middle
and you know why he's in the middle? You know why he's in the middle? Because he's the rookie.
Because he's average.
Oh, wait. You can't say because he's average because everybody else is in Cancun watching his ass.
Or Padre Island or somewhere down there.
There you go. Or Padre Island.
All right. So let's
shift our focus here. Frank,
you're listening to Into the Dog Pound with Mike Tomczak, Eric Metcalf, Leroy Head, Frank Stamms, talking Browns football on Alumni Media, a Poundcast where you find your favorite, and I say Poundcast because we're the only Poundcast, a podcast where you find your
Pound.
Yeah. Where you find all your favorite podcasts talking Browns football throughout the playoffs because the Browns will win. We will see. We will have this show next week, regardless.
We're not arguing that. We're not arguing that.
I'm not saying. I never said you guys don't think the Browns are going to win.
Here's the
thing. Never said Vegas.
Thing.
Vegas has got the Browns winning the game at 2.5 points, 3 points.
2.5, right?
But on the road, the home team gets 3 automatically.
So they're saying we're not that much better than them. But what I'm saying is this. So if the Browns don't go in there and play damn near perfect football, that 2 points says they're going to lose. They're going into a situation where
you think the Browns margin the Browns margin for error is less than Houston's?
I'm saying on the road in a playoff game, with crowd, all that, that shit makes a difference. You've been to the playoffs, I think.
Damn. What's the furthest you've been in the playoffs, Eric?
AFC Championship.
I was in the NFC Championship.
The same year.
No shit.
89.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now I was playing. Hey, I was playing against some cats that were pretty good, like Rice and Taylor, Rathman, and who's their running back at the time? What was that guy's name?
Eric Dicker. Roger.
Thank you,
Craig.
Leroy.
Hey,
Roger
wait.
Kegg in Montana.
I was only playing against Elway and Steve Atwater.
Ooh, that'd be a good. Well, who won
Carl
that? Carl
Mecklenburg.
Who won that?
Dennis
Super Bowl?
Smith.
So neither one of us were in the game after, so it doesn't really even matter.
Of course not.
That's a good feeling, though. If you advance to the Super Bowl, win or lose, that's a good feeling. You get a lot of swag and you get some extra money, win or lose. So it's a great experience. Hey, guys, take me back to that game when Cleveland was down there earlier in the year, or 5 or 6 weeks ago. What did the Cleveland Browns do well offensively?
Isn't that when Amari had 265?
Oh,
Amari had 265. And it's one of those things where they had a great game. Amari and Flacco had a great game, but is that the approach you still take this week when you sat there? I mean, they're going to throw the ball because that's what they do with Flacco.
Just like we looking at Nico Collins, they looking at Amari Cooper.
Right. But what I'm saying is going back to watching them against the coach.
Joku's ready too. He's ready to fly.
Jonathan Taylor ran up and down the field on them.
What do you have? $175? No, 53.
Down. So I don't know how Stefanski goes into what is the emphasis going into this game when they're game planning this is how you approach them, because we know that Amari went for 265, but we just watched Jonathan Taylor run for whatever 160 plus with everybody there.
Right.
With
I think the most important thing is say if you take Nico Collins out of the game and you take Amari Cooper, who are the others, right? And Njoku got to have a big game. And he's been doing that when they've taken away Amari Cooper.
Elijah.
But wait. Njoku's not that good, so we shouldn't have to. They're not worried about him, right?
He's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, okay.
Frank, Frank, can I ask you a question?
We go to Pro Bowl.
Can I ask you a question? Frank, how many Pro Bowls you been to, Frank?
Sure, brother. 4.
How many?
4.
But I'm saying, before you go and call somebody.
Wait. He meant that they paid for it.
Easy.
But I'm saying, before you go call somebody garbage that just got named to the Pro Bowl, why don't you take?
There you go again. I never called Njoku garbage. I never called
Then what did you say? What did you say about it?
I said he's average. I said
everybody can't be average. Everybody who talk about is average.
Wait a sec.
Who's good in the NFL to you, Frank?
Well,
he's a Pro Bowl tight end. He's a Pro Bowl tight end. Who's better than him at tight end?
Kelsey.
Okay. One.
Who else? Well, you got me on the
Kittle.
Who?
George Kittle's pretty.
He's in the NFC.
Good.
He's in the NFC.
Kittle's good. Kittle's good.
Who are the Pro Bowl tight ends?
Listen,
he's good. Let's call it right, Frankie.
I'm not saying he's not.
Good.
I'm not. He
you
was
said
average.
He's average.
Now
average
he's good.
people make
I
the
did
Pro
say
Bowl?
he was average. Then I said he became good when he started catching the ball. All right. Now he's good. All right. When he learns to hold on to it and blocks a little bit better, he's really, really good.
You know what's crazy is though I had this argument with someone here in Seattle who's born and raised in Cleveland, a big fan, and we were talking about Njoku, and I was talking about Njoku being good. He's like, oh, he's just good this year. No, he's been good. He's a very talented player. He's dropped balls, but he's a very talented player. And this year with Flacco and the way they run offense, he's been utilized more to his strengths. If you add in all the big plays that have been called back, the numbers will be even be more astounding.
Good point.
No, I agree. So, hey, let me just say this about Njoku. I look for him to have to earn that Pro Bowl title this game. I expect him to have a huge game because I don't think anybody on the Houston team can match up with Njoku. And he's gotten better. Stefanski's even talked about he's a different player than he was a couple of years ago. He's gotten better. He's more mature. And that's the other thing I like about this Browns team is they're a more mature team. And I think with that is a lot of that is because of Schwartz. And a lot of it is because of the maturity of the growing up in this team. And I think they're freaking finally getting it a little bit.
But Frank, can I say this, because you haven't played football offensive football in the NFL. And T-Zac won't understand this as much as Leroy will. But I'm going to just tell you, when you're not involved in the game as a specialist on offense, your focus just ain't there the same all the time. It's just not there. You want it to be and you think it is, but if you're not out there actually getting the ball and contributing to your team, making plays, your focus isn't there. I know I've been there, and I know Leroy has been there.
There's nothing worse than running a route and breaking somebody off to where he on the knee, and you turn around and look at the ball, and the quarterback's back is looking at you, and he looking the other way.
Right. And I think for him, and I've said this many times, when I think about Njoku, I think he's one of those players that if he's not involved in the game, then he loses focus. But as of late,
and he has ADD.
Doesn't know what he has.
You call it whatever you want. But this year, especially when Flacco became the quarterback and we started running different plays, he has been a centerpiece. And so with that, now he's focused, and that's what got him to the Pro Bowl. Because
Eric, I like that analogy, Eric, because that's so true. Especially in playoff games. You go with what got you there, right?
Right.
What got you to the playoffs? And if you don't get 85 involved early and often, he will float on you.
Yes.
There'll be a little situation on the sideline. Hey, I was open on this play, and but hopefully it never happens, because I played in a number of playoff games, and guys would come over to me and he goes, "Hey, T-Zac, I was open." Well, were you open before the throw or after the throw? Because after the throw, everyone's open. But to you guys' point, though, Elijah Moore is another guy, right? That Flacco has a relationship with, right?
Right.
He played with them with the Jets and everything. He had some big plays. And one thing I wanted to bring up, guys, their shot plays have been highly successful because Flacco always reads the shot plays from top down. He's looking for he's a vertical kind of guy, but he does a great job coming off the top down and getting down to the checkdowns. And those are going to be instrumental, especially on second down when they have an opportunity to call those big shot plays. And, one thing that Flacco has done, which really amazes me, he gets a lot of successful plays off schedule. And you guys know what I mean. Whether it be a naked bootleg, whether it just be getting out of the pocket for 2 or 3 yards and hitting a big pass to Ford, and he takes it the distance for a touchdown. So he's playing with some confidence right now that I haven't seen in a long time, because usually when he's playing the Steelers, it comes down to that critical situation where he throws somebody over the top. It's a little high, or it's a tip ball or something, and the Steelers intercept it, game over. I've seen those when he played for Baltimore, but I don't think that's going to happen this year, guys. As much as Michigan was a team of the year, Michigan against everyone, I think the Browns have that same mindset right now. I really do. Agree? Disagree?
I feel good about it. I feel good about their chances. I really do. And it's a weird situation, because if everything goes right, they could be playing the AFC Championship in Cleveland.
Well, so looking past this game, when the Browns win, the highest seed plays Baltimore. When I say the highest seed,
lowest seed.
So, well, yeah, as far as
number 7, number 6, number 5.
Yeah,
number
so
4,
so if you're number 7, then I'm calling you the highest seed, it's okay. It's the lowest seed. It's the lowest seed. We'll go with your math, because I'm a little backwards.
How about going with what it is?
Quantitative. Qualified
That's the lowest seed.
Why you trying to make all our facts our opinions?
Whatever. So if you're number 1 seed and number 2 seed, which one's the low seed?
2.
The 2.
Okay. All right. So the lowest seed goes to Baltimore, and that could very well be Cleveland if the other 2 favorites win.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, the 2 favorites win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Correct.
Right. Okay. So here's my analysis on
No,
this
unless Miami beats Kansas City.
Well, that's what I mean. Okay, if the 2 favorites win, Kansas City's favored.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. So is Buffalo. If Pittsburgh beats Buffalo, they're going to Baltimore.
Right.
So here's my, and you guys gonna think again that I need to up my medication.
You're okay, Frank. You're getting better.
The best thing that's happened, I'll take this tack. The best thing that happened is CJ Stroud didn't play in that first game against Cleveland, because now he doesn't know Cleveland. I think that kid's going to be a star. I think he's a good quarterback, but I think as far as the grand scheme in the whole NFL, he's simply still just a rookie quarterback, and he's going to make rookie mistakes. And seeing a team for the first team, especially the number 1 secondary in the NFL, that's going to be different for him, and he's going to make mistakes.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If he hasn't done it playing 15 games as a rookie in the NFL, why do we assume he's going to do it now? Now, what me and Eric have been saying is you can't count on him making mistakes because he hasn't done it. He's got the best turnover to touchdown, interception to touchdown ratio in the entire NFL. That includes all the guys you think are good. And so we're not just going to go into a game assuming that, oh, he's a rookie, he's going to make rookie mistakes, because he hasn't done it. So what has he done that would lead you to
That's not to say that he won't. He just hasn't done it.
Well, hold on. You asked me a question. You got to let me answer. What I'm saying is now the Browns have the Browns are smart too, and you guys know this. Those guys get paid too. And what makes me say that he's rookie mistakes are going to show up is, again, he's going against the number 1 secondary in the NFL. He's going up against the guy that probably, the coordinator that probably isn't going to be with Cleveland next year, probably be head coach of one of the teams. That's another topic. But what I'm saying is the Browns are smart, and the Browns are going to do things here's the advantage the Browns have, in my opinion, is they need to build upon the win they had at Houston. They don't need to find a way to beat Houston. They already have. Houston has to find a way to beat the Browns, and their work is double, because not only do they have to find a way to correct the mistakes that they made against the Browns, but they have to also find a way to beat the Browns. And this is the dilemma.
Can I say this? The Browns do have to find a way to beat Houston, as well as Houston having to find a way to beat them. Now, the Browns are playing a team that they did not see when they beat Houston a couple weeks ago. That's not the same team. That's not CJ Stroud. That's not Will Anderson, who is going to be defensive rookie of the year as well.
Right.
So while we're talking about Houston has to find a way, the Browns have to find a way also, because because Houston will show some things that the Browns haven't seen from them.
Do you think that rookie head coach is going to make some mistakes?
I don't know, but I do.
They got a veteran staff. They brought veteran coaches over there.
The veteran coaching staff, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and the head coach were in Frisco, and they've won a lot of games. Right? So I don't know. I can't say that they will. I know Stefanski has.
Here's what I would say, Matt. If we're saying that CJ Stroud and this coaching staff, this rookie coach, are going to make mistakes, we're making assumptions. We're not basing it off of things that we've seen. And so going into this game, if we just take all of the information we've seen and evaluate that, right, I'm going to say that they won't. I'm going to say that you're going to have to beat a solid all-around football team. Now, do I think the Browns will do it? Yes. But I'm not going to go out on a limb and say, oh, they're going to do some things that they've never done all year. You can't make that assumption just because it's the playoffs. Because guess what? Ignorance is bliss. The way they've been playing football, they ain't been playing football like they're a rookie coaching staff, a rookie quarterback, and a young team that's been terrible for the last 3 years. They haven't been playing football like that all year.
What do you got the game, Leroy? What do you got the game? What's the final score look like for you?
27-17.
Ah, you're close to me. You're close to me, but I'm 27-23. I'm
31-13.
Oh, shit.
Browns.
And what do you have, Frank?
I got the game.
Well, you already said 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I'm going to say 24-10. 24-10 Browns, and Stroud throws 2 picks and gets sacked. He gets sacked 5 times.
Oh my!
Now, do you think Joe Flacco is going to have any issues, Frank, with interceptions?
Well, that's the wild card. That's
why
wild.
it's a wild card game, right?
You
Wild
think-
card
oh,
game.
you think-
So,
Saturday.
can I say, Leroy, let me go right now. So while that's the wild card and we're doing all this assuming, we can assume that he's going to throw the ball to the other team at least one time. Because he has every game, right?
Except for one.
Past performance
Which
is
game
not
was
any
that?
indication of future
Really?
performance.
I mean, isn't that how we base everything we do in football? That's how you get drafted. That's how you get paid. So
I don't
what are you
think.
talking about?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think. I think it doesn't necessarily translate, but that's what you have to go on. I see what you're saying, Leroy, and but you can assume that Flacco is going to throw a pick, but I don't necessarily think that's what it's going to happen. I mean,
It's
what do you
happened
think?
every
Here, but Frank,
Happened every game.
we're taking everything that he's done in his 4-1 record since he's been a starter. You are making an assumption, okay? Because there's nothing based on what you've seen in Flacco's 5 games that would say that what you're saying is accurate. So my question to you is what would lead you to believe he's not going to throw a pick?
No, I would have, if I had to put $5 on it, I would say he'd throw a pick.
So, then why did you argue the point?
I didn't argue it. I just said, I didn't argue. I just said I don't think you can assume it, but I
think in the 5 games. 8.
Huh?
He threw 8 in those 5 games.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's a problem.
That's the
Especially where?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Especially where, Eric? Eric, especially where? If those interceptions come in the scoring zone, if those interceptions come in the red zone, where they don't come away with any points, that becomes a huge problem.
I will say this.
Thank you.
Flacco has been real careful with the ball down in the red zone.
He has.
Like a lot of his interceptions are taking chances down the field.
And I give you that. You know the other problem is, at least 2 have been taken to the house.
Yeah.
I know at least 1 was taken down to the 1-yard line.
Right.
So
house call.
These damn picks, they're problematic. Especially when
let's put those to bed. Let's put those to bed because we're going to pray real hard.
And we want to, but we're talking about playoff football. When we're talking about the playoffs, you cannot afford to turn the ball over at all.
And that's my question.
We led the league in turnovers.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. It's a crazy stat, Eric. Certainly is. Let me ask you guys this. I know we got a short bit left, but in your playoff experience, take me through your first playoff experience. Because each play really needs to be perfected, right? Each play, offense, defense, everything. Did your mental capacity change when you guys got into the playoffs?
Well, Eric probably has a better experience because they went to the AFC Championship his rookie year. But mine was the same as, I think, Frank, were you with us when we went to the when we beat Bill Parcells?
I was the starting Sam linebacker. I was the starting Will linebacker on that best season that Bill Belichick had, along with Pepper Johnson and Carl Banks. A defense that going into the last game, Nick Saban told us if we held the team to 7 points or less, we would join an elite group of defenses that held its opponents for the entire year under 200 points. So I was part as starting Will linebacker on that great defense. In fact, I just had that conversation.
Is that affirmative? Is that affirmative?
So the question would be, did we hold them to less than 7?
No.
Okay.
No, we didn't. And we lost that last game in the state. No, we won that last game in the stadium.
Yeah, we won the last game, and then we went to Pittsburgh and lost.
Yeah.
No. What I'm talking about, the
regular season, we played Seattle, we won.
Yes.
No,
yes.
in the stadium?
Yes.
Yeah. No, the last game ever was against Cincinnati. We won that game.
Right.
But the last playoff run, we played Seattle the last regular season game.
Right.
Because
that's when you got on the plane.
That's the game I got on the plane with the Seattle Seahawks and flew back to Seattle for Christmas.
You're the man. You're smooth.
Well, the last game, yeah, I don't remember. We're talking 95.
95, you didn't go to the playoffs. 94, you did.
94.
So, but wait, we
played you guys 3 times that year. We played the Steelers.
I don't remember. Yeah. No, you're right, Leroy. I was on that team that we hosted the Patriots, and they built it. The tuna was coming in, and it was the protege against the Menor. All right, we win that game, and then the next week we go to Pittsburgh and lose. Right, I was there.
We got lucky.
Pittsburgh. Nobody beats.
I sure wish your stories reflected that.
Right, my playoffs. I played in my career. I played in 5 playoff games.
That's it?
That's it. 2 in 89, 2 in 94, 1 in 95.
Damn.
Nope. 6. I played in 6. No, 8, 7. I played 7.
I played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I played in 7.
I'm right with you.
Mike, how many did you play in?
Well, I played in 7, but I played 24 in my mind because I was the backup. You know, I was ready to go. I was prepared. I was prepared a starter, man.
The question is how many games were you a part of that were in the playoffs? 24?
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah.
Wow.
I'd say the first 5 out of 6 years, the Bears, we won the division, so that was playoff central, right? We played at least 10 playoff games there. Pittsburgh, we won, probably 5 out of 7 division championships as well. But as we close out this show, guys, it excites me because
can I tell my playoff experience, because I think mine's a good one.
Sure.
So we with the Rams, with the wild card team, and we go to play Buddy Ryan on New Year's Eve, and he had that.
That's the walk-off, right?
No, that was against the Giants. So we played Philly that the week before, and he's got that defensive line. What were those guys? Mike,
Clyde Simmons, Reggie White,
Jerome Brown,
Richard Dent.
Jerome Brown.
Clyde Simmons, yeah.
Dude, we go there and we beat those guys. But the best part of it was on the way there, we get on the plane. There was a guy, and you would know this guy, and Leroy, you might know him. He's a Michigan grad. Mel Owens played linebacker.
Yeah.
Linebacker, yeah.
So Mel hands me.
He's a lawyer in L.A.
Right.
He settled my case. Ching ching.
Yeah, he helped me with mine too. So he hands me an invitation to the Playboy Club New Year's Eve party, and I said, "Damn, Mel, are you sure?" He goes, yeah, I've been doing it several times. And he goes, I've got a girlfriend now, and I just don't want to go. And it was New Year's Eve, and of course we're playing Philadelphia. I think it was at maybe 1:00 that day. So we're landing in LA about 9-10 o'clock because of the time difference. So, but when he hands me it, he says he's on one condition: it's a lingerie party. And I said, well, that's cool. He goes, well, the guys wear pajamas. I said, well, shit, I don't have a pair of pajamas. What am I going to do? And so the night before the game, instead of, I'm a rookie, instead of getting in my playbook and making sure I knew what I was doing,
for pajamas.
I was shopping for pajamas. I was shopping for pajamas, right? And so we win the game. We win the game. We fly back, and I go up to the Playboy Club, and I go to the party, dude. It was awesome. But then the playoff run, we go back to the East Coast. We play New York, and that's when Flipper Anderson caught the walk-off touchdown. And then the following week, we go up to San Francisco and played the 49ers in the championship game. And that's when Jim Everett took the Phantom Fall. All right, if you guys remember that.
The sack?
Right. Yeah. He just curled up in a fetal position. The rush was collapsing around him, and he just dropped to his knees. And man, we got trounced. We got beat like by 40 points. So that was the closest I ever got.
Frank, how close did you get to Hugh Hefner that evening?
Dude, I'm glad you asked me that. As the ball was dropping, I looked around. I was right there next to the staircase. I looked over my left shoulder. There's Hef. I said, hey, man, thank you. This is a great party. He says to me, glad you could make it. And that was my encounter with Hugh Hefner.
What a memory.
And that's all he said to you, because Mike Hammerstein told him that you weren't going to do anything. So it wasn't no sense in introducing you to someone.
Hey, let's go around one more time. Great show. Started off with the Michigan victory. Leroy, couldn't be prouder, as a former Buckeye, to see the Michigan Wolverines get that national championship, and how exciting it is for all the alumni there. And I got dear friends, that are former Michigan players that I still keep in touch with. And then we jump into the playoffs. The playoffs. And we haven't had this conversation. We didn't have it last year, right? We didn't have it last year. We're getting ready to fire Stefanski, and then he brings in Schwartz and turns things around. So everything is kosher right now. Everything is kosher in Cleveland.
And it's one of them situations where I think that people need to not talk about Flacco versus Deshaun Watson and how this team looks differently without him. People just need to enjoy the ride.
Correct.
Enjoy the ride. Because when you're a player, especially I know you, Frank, and I myself, playing in the AFC Championship and losing that game, you couldn't have told me in the 12 years that I played that I would never get to the Super Bowl. And so when you look at it, you have to enjoy the ride, because you have to take advantage of that short little window, that little window that you get. Because if you don't, it's going to be gone quickly.
Yeah. Tell us. Yeah. Again, tell us your pick, and why you think the Browns.
We did
win.
that already, Frank.
Okay. Tell us.
I got Browns. I got Browns 27-23. I think the Browns played the defense takes over the game. I think they do enough on offense where they're winning. I think the Texans will score a touchdown that will make the score look closer than it actually is. But the Browns, in the end, will run the ball and secure the victory.
Very nice. I got him 24-10. I think why? I think Flacco, he's with all his experience, he manages the game well. He doesn't light it up. He limits, he does going to have one turnover, but hopefully it's in Houston's side of the field. All right. Their ground game is going to be good enough to win. They're just going to win the game. Nothing, fancy, nothing beautiful, but maybe winning ugly. And I think Houston, that defense is going to win the day like they've done throughout the season. They're going to create some problems for Stroud. He's not going to be as effective as he's been. And as a result, they only scored 10 points. So I got a 24-10.
Yeah, 31-13 is the number I picked. I'm really anxious to watch the first drive. You know, Cleveland, every time that Joe Flacco is taking the field, their first drive is exceptional. They do a great job scouting. They do a wonderful job exposing, the defense, and they make some chunk plays. And I just hope when they do that, they come back to that a series or two later and go back to that same play calling so they could continue to move the ball down the field. That's what I'm looking forward to. And I'm also looking for a pick six from the Browns or a special team touchdown for a touchdown because they've had a few of them this year.
What you got, Jenkins?
You can know.
I can't hear you.
27-14. Or
27-14, and how do they do it?
27-17.
How do they do it?
They just dominate the two lines of scrimmage. That eventually is going to wear, Houston down. I don't know, I do think that if they don't get to CJ Stroud, he'll pick them apart. So I think they're going to have to be creative. They're going to have to use different blitzes. They're going to have to come from different angles. They're going to have to stunt the front line. They're not going to – this is not a team where you can just go in and say, we just going to line up and beat them. You still got to be creative defensively to beat them.
Yeah. I agree. And those blitzes can come out of the secondary or corner blitz. I saw Michigan do a few times last night. I think they're going to be creative, yeah.
There you have it, Browns Nation. Everybody has picked the Browns to win this game. We feel good about us moving on. We feel good about us possibly going to Baltimore.
Okay.
Saturday.
Goodbye. Hey, goodbye.
Peace. Love you, brothers.
I got another damn
she's cute. Who is that?
620. Huh?
Who's that? Who is that? She's cute. Is that your girlfriend?
My wife and my kid, dude. I've been married
it's your
20
wife?
years.
Oh.
20 years. Congratulations, man.
Nice. You certainly outkicked your coverage.
Frank, I already don't like you. Be careful. Goodbye.
There's a lot of love in your voice, Leroy, though. You got a lot of love in that voice, though, Leroy.
Peace out.
All right, Browns Nation, you've been in the dog pound with Eric Metcalf, Frank Stans, Mike Tomczak, Leroy Horde, off to win a playoff game in Houston, Texas, featuring Matthew McConaughey right there. Let's go, Browns.
Go Browns.